In today's video, I'm going to be sharing a student's case study of how he went from $0 to $8,500 in just 2 weeks, and that was in revenue. Now, the reason why I'm sharing this story and sharing this case study is so, number one, you can learn from his success, because I believe that success leaves clues, but also so you can actually get some motivation and belief that anybody in dropshipping can achieve these results with the right mindset, the right knowledge, and the right determination. Because this student has come from an ex-military background, he's in his 50s, he comes from a non-IT background, and he's been able to make this success in terms of 8,500 revenue in the last 2 weeks. So that's why I'm sharing his story. I'm also going to show you the store, sorry, not the store, but I'm going to actually show you the actual back end so I can prove the results and not just lying about it. I'm also going to give you the complete formula we took to get these results. So you're going to learn a lot in this video today, and I hope it helps you. I know other dropshippers make the case studies about their own stores. Now that's great, but other dropshippers and gurus that make those videos about how I made 50k in 1 week or in a month, it's great, but those other gurus have come from a very, very experienced background. So they're getting great results because they already have a lot of knowledge, they already have tried and tested, they already have a large amount of money to invest, so they can do ads a lot faster because they've got a higher budget. Now in today's video, I'm showing you a student that didn't have a massive capital investment. He doesn't have a great form of knowledge. He's only watched a few YouTube videos before. He might have had 1 or 2 courses. So he's literally exactly like 90% of you that are watching this video today, a beginner, or should I say was a beginner. So that's why I'm very, very excited about sharing this video with you today, because it's not your typical case study video on YouTube where these gurus will show you their results, which is great, but at the end of the day, they already have a lot of knowledge, they already have a lot of money, and it's not easy, but it's a lot simpler to do when you're already in that position. So for me to show you exactly somebody like yourself should definitely help you, motivate you to do the exact same results. So let's dive straight into my laptop so I can show you the case study. So you can see I'm in the dropshipping Shopify store dashboard analytics page, and you can see the total sales of $8,539 from the last 14 days, which is June the 22nd to the July the 6th, which is the day I'm recording it. And you can see how the student from nothing, no knowledge, no IT background, has been able to achieve these results in 2 weeks from me teaching him in my program. Now, this just proves that anybody can achieve these results. So you can see he's had 36 as his average order value, and the product he's actually selling is actually $22. So he's actually making a great average order value, which is what's making him 20% profit margin on his revenue. You can see his online store conversion rate is 3.4%, which is very, very good. And you can see his returning customer rate too. And you can also tell this is an actual site. This isn't a screenshot. This isn't fake, because if it was, it wouldn't give me these extra little details that you can see on the screen. Because I know there's a lot of people out there that are doing fake screenshots and stuff like that. You can tell this is completely real and this isn't fake. So I just thought I'd show you this and prove that this is not fake, this is real. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump into the Google Doc sheet, and I'm going to go through the whole formula on how I was able to take the student from 0 to 8,500 in just 2 weeks. So let's talk a little bit about the complete formula. So the first thing is, how did we find the product that's been able to achieve the success? The first thing we used was eSniper. Now eSniper I've talked about a lot on this channel. Now I definitely recommend you go check it out. I'll leave a link in the description below to a free trial. Now you can see we went on eSniper and we toggled the filter to any products under 500 orders or 500 orders. You can actually change it to 1,000, but we did 500, and we found a product that did the matches in the checklist. So if you haven't already, I recommend you watch my winning product course, because in there I talk about the checklist you want to put your products through to see if it's got a chance of being a winner. We did that and we found this product. Now the product, like I said, had under 500 orders, which is great because it means it's untapped and it has a large revenue share, and it means Facebook ads are going to be cheaper because there's less people competing on there, as it's a bidding system. So we used eSniper, and like I said, you can toggle and filter it down. Really do recommend eSniper, great tool, and as I said, I will leave a link in the description below. The product had the wow factor and it solved a problem. So the two biggest things that I love to have. Now some winning products don't have to have these two things, they can have one or the other, but this product had both of them, which makes it a great product because you can make a great product video from having these two indicators, and you can really use video ads to get these indicators out there, so you can really show the wow factor and the solving problem aspect in a video ad. So that's why I loved it. The product is hard to find online and not sold in stores, so this is another reason why it's a great product, because one, it's really hard to find online, and number two, it's not sold at your Walmart and your other department stores. The product is currently uptrending, so the product on Google Trends is actually uptrending, which means we caught it just before it was on the downscale of trending, so it's actually currently going on the trend. And the search volumes are increasing on Google. So when people Google things, the search volume for that product is actually increasing, which means more people are in demand for having it. The product price is actually $22.99. Now, here's a massive tip to people. 70% of my winners are priced below $29.99. So if you want a winning product and you want to get a winning product that has the highest chance of success, try and go for a product below $29.99. The profit margin on this product is $16. Now, here's another tip. Every 30 to 50 sales, increase the price by $1 till the sales slow down. So let's say, for example, 30 sales, you increase it by another dollar, another 30 sales, you increase it by another $1. You do it one more time, but when you do it one more time, it starts to slow down the sales on the ads. Then you're going to want to drop it back down to the $1 below that and keep it running. That way you can increase the product value, because sometimes people might be scared of overcharging or undercharging. That way, if you're doing that method, it means you're going to find the peak point of what you can charge, and you could make an extra $2. And when you're making an extra $2, trust me, it makes a big difference. Once the product is defined as a winner, now how you define a winner is by if it gets 5 to 7 sales day in, day out in the testing phase. So when you're testing products in the testing phase, and I'll talk about this at the end of this doc sheet, because when I talk about how we did the ads, if you're getting 5 to 7 sales daily, then that's what we call a winning product. Now, once you've done that, you can start to add products on the upselling strategy side of it. So it's a one product store. What we did is, now with a one product store, you're obviously just selling that one product. Now, once you're getting 5 to 7 sales daily in the testing phase, you can start to add products in the related part or in a bundle upsell, because that way people are interested in the product anyway, and they will be willing to buy other things related to that product. So that's what I recommend you do, and that will really help increase AOV, which is average order value. And the last point is the store setup is a one product store with the Elon Musk theme. I will leave a link in the description below to get the Elon Musk theme. That's the theme that we use for the one product store. Now let's talk about the store pages. We have the shipping policy, the FAQ, the about us, the contact us, the track order, the warranty. Now the warranty page is for the warranty upsell, and I'll leave a card here on how to learn how to do warranty upsells. Now that warranty upsell has made this store so much money, it's unreal. Now I made a video about my warranty upsell, and like I said, I'm going to leave it in the cards. Now that video is barely been touched. Nobody's really watched it. It's so underrated. You need to go watch it. We added the refund policy, the privacy policy, and the terms of service. These are the pages that you need on your website, so make sure you get these added. Now the product page features, we added 5 to 10 high quality product images. We had a catchy short product description. Now it's very important that you have a short but catchy product description, and you want to make sure that your product description is like how you're having a conversation with the customer back to forth. Now a lot of product descriptions are very salesy, and they're very telling the customer and ramming it down their throat. With a product description, it's all about making the customer feel like they're having a conversation back and forth with you. Now, if you want to learn how to do that, I'll leave a cards up here on how to do product descriptions in that kind of manner. I made a video about it, and I'm teaching you exactly how to do it. Now, the product video. Now, you want to add a product video to the product page, but you want to add the product video with no text. You know, when you do Facebook ads, you have loads of text on the product video. You want to add a video on the product page without any text, and you kind of want to add a video that shows a product in action, or the unboxing, or how to set up the product, or how to use it without any text. And you want to make sure the video is completely different to the video on the Facebook ad, because if people have seen the same video on the Facebook ad on the product page, they're not going to watch it, or they might watch it and think, oh, it's pointless being on there because I've already seen it before. To have a different video on there, it's going to get their interest a lot higher, and it's going to increase the chances of them buying. Another thing you're going to want your shipping policies on the product page. This way you're being transparent with the customer, which means if people buy, there's a less chance of chargebacks, because they're like, you know what, why is it taking so long to get to my house? At least you're being transparent from the start. And that way Facebook applaud that. Now Facebook do something called bot crawling. Now bot crawling is when a bot will crawl your site. Now if it gets flagged for human review, and the human that reviews your website from Facebook sees that you're not being very honest with your policies, and you've had negative reviews in the past about your Facebook ads and being slow shipping times and whatnot, if they see you're not clear with your shipping policies, they can actually block your website. So doing this way, you're actually going to reduce the chances of getting blocked. Now you're going to want to add specifications as well. You're going to want to add a size chart if your product needs one. You're going to want to add the FAQ, which stands for frequently asked questions, to your product page. This is something that people don't do, and it's so annoying. You must add your FAQ to your product page, not just your footer. Now when people looking at the product page and they have questions in their head, they're not going to look all the way around your website to try and find the FAQ page. They want it there and there. So if you can answer those frequently asked questions there and then, you're going to increase your conversions very highly. Now you're going to want to add 3 to 15 reviews with images and good grammar. Now a lot of people are adding just reviews on their product page of just text and no pictures. You want to add just reviews of images, not just text. You want images and text, but make sure the grammar is very well done. Now, a lot of the reviews, the grammar is awful and it makes them look fake, so make sure that you get that done correctly. Now, the store apps, what apps were we using? Abandon Protector, Add to Cart, and Checkout Pro, cross-selling, DSers. I don't even know how you say that. DSers is very, very important. ePurlo, Luke's Reviews, Oberlo, SMS Bump, and Wait. So let's go through them again. Abandon Protector. You don't have to just use this app. You can use anything that protects abandoned carts or retargets them. That's basically what it does. Add to Cart and Checkout Pro. So basically what this does is you can actually kind of customize the checkout a little bit. You can add like a sticky button. So when people add to cart, there's a sticky checkout button somewhere. Really, really good. Cross-selling. So when you're doing the cross-selling, so for example, when you scroll to the bottom of the product page, it says products related to this product, or get the look or something like that, and the products come under the bottom of the product page. That's what that does. DSers, this is a new app that we've been using. Now, this app allows you to bulk fulfill orders, so you can actually tick a tick box and it'll fulfill all the orders, and you'll be able to pay for all of the orders instead of doing it individually using Oberlo. So it's a great app. Recommend using it, especially when you scale. ePurlo is an alternative to Oberlo, and you get the chance to get 5 to 8 days shipping for your customers in the US and the UK, so it's amazing. Luke's Reviews to get your reviews. Oberlo, just in case the product's not on ePurlo. SMS Bump, which is text messaging marketing. We're not currently using SMS Bump at the moment. We're going to be using that this month. Now, wait is basically when they try and leave the website, it will say, hold on a second, here's a 15% coupon code. Use this now before it expires. So it kind of saves you from losing a lot of people. Now, that app works amazing. The amount of customers we've had that have been saved by this app is unreal. Now let's talk about how we did the Facebook ads to get from $0 to $8,500. Now, we made 2 different creatives, which what we mean by creative is add video, add copy, and add thumbnail. That's what makes it creative. So what we did was we created 2 different ad creatives. Now, the reason why we did this and the reason why I taught him how to do this is because a lot of people make this mistake, which is, I'm going to create one creative and I'm going to make the decision that it's a good creative because I think it's good. Now, the bad thing about that is you're basically prejudging on what your target market is wanting to see. Now, that's the worst thing you can do when you're in business. You cannot make the answers and the decisions for your target market. You have to listen to what their opinions are and what their engagement and reactions are to what you're giving them, and then you can judge on what to give them next. So this is why we do 2 different creatives, and this is why we did 2 different creatives, because we wanted to see which creative is which one is our target market wanting to use, and if that's the case, then we can use that to try and get sales from. So that's the reason why we made 2 different creatives, and this is why I recommend you follow this same method and you use the same formula that I taught him to do, because it's going to really help you on identifying which creative will work best for your product. Now, again, this is another reason why most products don't do well. Now, I've seen people in the past say this product isn't a winner, I can't get sales from it, and I've took the exact same product, made different ad creatives, seen which one works best, used the one that worked the best, and I've made a lot of money with that product. Now, the reason the product wasn't successful is because the ad creative that they made for the target market was just not good enough for those target customers, and those people that were in that target market is not what they wanted to see. So if you use this method, then you're going to know exactly what your target market and the target market for your product are going to want to know and want to see. So what we then did is we tested them against each other to see which creative performed the best, like I just said. How we did this is we used an engagement ad, which is a PPE campaign. Now, with the PPE campaign, the reason why you use PPE and not conversion, and the reason why we did this is because, number one, it's cheaper. And the thing you need to understand is I'm teaching this student a budget-friendly option on to do Facebook ads. Now, a lot of people that do Facebook ads and a lot of people that teach how to do Facebook ads are telling you to spend a lot more money than I think you should, especially as a beginner. A lot of gurus are telling you to spend $100 a day testing products, and I just think that's way too much money, and you don't need to be spending that kind of money. We were doing really cheap ads and we were getting really good results. Now, the results that you just saw, $8,500, is by $5 ad sets and only 3 ad sets at one time when starting. So that just shows you don't need to be running $10 ad sets at 10 ad sets at $10 a day. You just don't need to be doing that. And this is why we did a PPE campaign to test the different creatives, because one, it's cheaper, Number two, PPE is designed to get engagement. It's designed to get reactions. It's designed to get comments. So we can then take that into consideration when picking which creative was the best. So that's why I love it. So what we did, like I said, is we created a PPE campaign. We put 2 different ad sets in there with 2 different creatives, and then we just let them run for 48 hours. And I'm going to tell you exactly how we set that up in terms of placements, age, gender, targeting, and whatnot. Now, the ad column setup that you're going to want to add, and the ones that we had when we did this, was frequency, impressions, cost per result, amount spent, schedule, quality score, CPM, CPC, CPUC, unique CTR, website content views, website add to basket, website purchase, ROAS, return on ad spend, video watches at 95%, and video watches at 75%. So they're the ad columns that we use, and I recommend you use the same. Now, the target, in terms of what target we did for the PPE campaign, was we targeted the top 5 countries. Now, the reason we target the top 5 countries, now a lot of people say, Cam, why don't you just do e-packet, because there's more target, there's more basically customers, there's more potential making money. Yes, you're completely right, but if you cannot sell to the top 5 countries, you cannot sell to the e-packet countries. The top 5 countries are the most highest buying countries, regardless of what you say. Facts, I always say to people, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. And numbers say that these are the countries that buy the most online. So if you cannot sell to these top 5 countries, you're going to struggle a lot selling to the e-packet countries. And I just want to tell you that, because a lot of people ask me why I do this. So that's why we start with the top 5. And once you're getting 5 to 7 sales consistently, and like we did, we got 5 to 7 sales consistently in the testing phase, we started running ad sets to the e-packet countries to see if there's any e-packet countries that are buying. And guess what? There are e-packet countries buying. That's because the top 5 countries were buying also as well. So we target the top 5 countries. We then targeted 21 to 65. We did gender as both, because the product that was testing, men and women kind of do it. More men, but we didn't want to kind of take women out of the equation just before. We'd rather let the data tell us if they're not good enough or not for the product. We did something called flex targeting. Now, flex targeting is where you target one interest and you narrow it further to get the really, really passionate, really, really niche down target market. So for example, if I'm doing a golf product and I want to use Tiger Woods as one of the interests at the top, I might narrow it down further by golf, because people that are interested in Tiger Woods might not be super interested in golf. They might just be interested in Tiger Woods as like a role model, or they might be interested in playing golf, but they don't actually play golf themselves. So if you narrow it down by golf, if you do Tiger Woods then golf, you're getting super specified to that kind of person who is interested in Tiger Woods, but also interested in golf. And they're the kind of people that are going to buy golf products. So that's what flex targeting means. Now we did the reach between 2.5 and 10 million. We did the placements at everything but instant articles and in-stream videos. We did the device type as mobile and desktop. We did the budget for the PPE campaign at $10 a day for 48 hours. Now, you don't need to spend a lot of money on PPE campaigns because they're cheaper. You get a lot more impressions for lower money. So we did it for 2 days. Now, after the 48 hours, we turned off the PPE campaign and we looked at the data. Now, the data means these things here. Now, the ones that you want to look at when we did the PPE, was the CPM. We wanted to make sure that the CPM was below 12 and nothing more than 15. If the CPM is higher than 15, it's not a good sign. Most winning products tend to have a lower CPM than 15. We wanted to make sure that the cost per unique click is lower than 95 cents. Now, a lot of people will say the unique CTR is very important. Now, unique CTR is very, very important when you're doing purchase conversion ads, but because we're doing engagement ad for this to test the creatives, the CTR was not important, because again, with an engagement ad, you're not getting people to come to your website to buy, you're getting people to comment and engage on the ad on the Facebook platform, so that doesn't count for that. But the other thing that we wanted to look at was video watches, and video watches at 75%, because obviously we're wanting to use the video that gets the best results. So the ones that we looked at when we did the PPE campaign was CPM, CPUC, CPC, and the video watches and the frequency. We wanted the frequency between 1 and 1.5. Now, if we scroll back to here, like I said, after the 48 hours, we then turned off the PPE campaign and looked at the metrics and the data that just shows you. And the other things you can take into consideration are things like link clicks, things like likes, shares, and comments. They're all the things we took into consideration when picking which ad set performed the best depending on the creative. Now, when you're doing the targeting, you're obviously going to want to make the interest on both ad sets the same, because if you're using 2 different ad sets per interest for the PPE, you're going to see different target market, and it's not going to be fair. So make sure that the interest you're picking for both of the ad sets when you're doing the PPE test are exactly exactly the same. The only thing that should be different when you're doing this is, especially when we did it, was only the creative. That's the only thing that we changed. Now, once we decided which one performed the best, then we created a purchase conversion campaign using the creative that obviously performed the best, because we now know the target market loved that campaign. They love that ad creative. So why not show it to them when we're trying to get them to buy by using a conversion campaign? The only thing we changed when we did the PPE, sorry, not the PPE, but the website purchase conversion, is we kept everything the same in terms of age, gender, countries, placements, and devices. We created 3 ad sets, and the only thing we changed per ad set was the interest. So for one ad set we had one interest, for the other ad set we had a different interest, and for the other ad set we had a different interest. And remember, we kept doing the flex targeting format. So for every ad set we were doing flex targeting, which means one interest, and then you narrow it down to get more niche down people. So we did the flex targeting format for every 3 ad set we made. So again, like I said, we made the 3 ad sets and we did the flex targeting. Now we changed the budget from $10 to $5 per day for 48 hours per ad set. So after 48 hours, one ad set got 2 sales. So we duplicated the ad set 3 times. Now the reason why we duplicate the ad set 3 times is because when the ad set you make says, okay, Facebook says you can reach, let's say, 10 million people, you can't reach 10 million people with one ad set. So that's why we duplicate it 3 times. We don't change anything. We literally just duplicate it 3 times and we don't change anything. Now, once we did that, we're going to reach different people in that ad pocket. And guess what? Once we did that, the ad set that performed great, start with the one that got 2 sales. We duplicated it 3 times, and those 3 duplicated started getting loads of sales as well, because we were reaching different ad pockets. The other 2 ad sets that we launched in the initial 3 ad sets in the website conversion campaign, they got 0 sales. So we replaced them with new ad sets with new interests. So basically what we do here is, when we launch the first initial 3 ad sets in the purchase conversion campaign, normally out of every 3, you normally get 1 that performs great, like this one did, which got 2 sales. Sometimes you might get 2 that do 2 sales, but normally it's only 1 out of the 3. Now, a lot of people are going to say, Cam, why didn't you just test 10 ad sets to start with? Now, again, as I said to you, when I teach students, especially beginners, I do not like to do 10 ad sets at $10 a day. That is very aggressive and that's very costly. Now, if it's a winning product, if you do 3 ad sets and they're very good interest and you do your interest research, then at least one of those, like I just said to you, will get 2 sales like this one did. And then what you can do is the 2 that didn't get the sales, you can just replace them with new interest, because obviously the key to the success with Facebook is finding cold interest that perform well. And I'll get onto this a little bit later. But obviously, because it's cost effectively, we only did 3 ad sets to start with. And like I said, you don't need 10 ad sets at $10 a day to find a winner. We did 3 ad sets to start with, and out of one of those ad sets, we got 2 sales from one of them. So when we could replace the other 2 with new ad sets, because we know the product's now got potential. We increased the budget by 20 to 40%. So when we started testing new cold interest after replacing the old ones that didn't get any sales, so we launched another 2 ad sets, new ones with new interest. 1 would die and 1 would get duplicated 3 times because it got 2 sales. We'd replace the one that died with a new interest, and again and again and again. We kept repeating the process and repeating it and repeating it and repeating it. Then what we did to scale it is we increased the budget by 20 to 40% depending on the ROAS. So if the ROAS was, for example, 2 to 3, then we'd increase it by 20%, and the same would happen depending on 30 and 40%. So we'd increase the budget depending on what the ROAS was, because you can't increase budgets drastically if the ROAS doesn't meet a certain credential. It just won't work. We also made an extra 3 creatives to new ad sets. So once we started finding loads of ad sets that started working really, really well, what we did then is I understand, and what I taught him to do is, you need to make more creatives, because the more creatives you give, the more variation Facebook's got. Now, Facebook loves variation, and with more variation means you're going to get less ad fatigue. So I got him to make an extra 3 creatives, and then the new ad sets that we were making, we were adding them to the creatives. And if any old ad sets were dying out, we would basically turn them off and then duplicate them and change the creative to the new ones, and they would basically start working again. So that's exactly what we did. Now, how we started scaling this was we found we found 5 strong interests that did really well. And what we did is the 5 interests that did really well and they had a ROAS of 2.5, we put them in a new CBO campaign with $100 budget. So we had the $100 budget for the campaign, because obviously CBO is a campaign level budget. We did that and we put 5 of the best ad sets in there, and they were spending obviously a higher amount, because obviously up here they're spending $5 a day, and here we're putting them in a CBO at 100 a day. So obviously you're basically increasing the budget by putting them in a CBO. And what you want to do is, when you scale, especially now, what you want to do is you want to go from normal targeting and normal campaigns, and you want to transition good ad sets into CBOs, because they'll perform a lot better and they'll be a lot more profitable, and you can scale a lot better with CBOs than you can traditional campaigns. Now what we're doing is we're working towards 250 sales. We're almost there, and we're going to start to do lookalike audiences, and we're going to really scale this thing out to hopefully 100k by next month. And like I said, if you guys want me to make an updated post on exactly how the store's going after the second month, because the actual student's enrolling on another month with me, so he wants to do some lookalike audiences and retargeting. So if you want me to drop the actual scaling part of this, then let me know in the comment section. But this is exactly how we hit $8,500 in his first 2 weeks.